This picture is going to haunt me. I swear.
I don't get it, though. Why is my video not showing?
I don't care why it's not on. Fix it. This is freaking me out. It's like it's staring into my, well, whatever's left of my soul. It wants something from me. I don't know what, and I'm afraid to ask. Seriously, viewers at home, if you've never seen this picture of Zach, I encourage you never to view it.
That's weird.
Oh. It's legitimately disturbing. I'm not even joking. I do joke every now and then, for the benefit of the viewer audience, because I know they need some entertainment in order to sit through this. But this is not acting here. This is not me trying to be funny. No, this is just horrifying. And I can't look away. It's there. Every time it's there. And it won't go away. Oh.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess no one is going to be able to see my video. That's weird.
Oh. I just hope that, when it picks up your voice, how it switches from one view to the other?
Yeah.
I just pray that your view isn't this picture. Just black. Make it just this black nothingness.
Black nothing?
We can stare into the void all we want. Don't make us look at this picture.
All right. So, good Lord. How long has it been since our last meeting?
Oh, weeks, man. Weeks.
Man. So I read your chapter.
I hope so.
And I didn't have almost any problems with it, except for one pretty big one in the middle.
Great. Hold on. Folks at home, he's going to have just this one problem. And whatever it is, it's going to be something that's easily fixed, because we just take it out and put in something else or whatever. But at that one little thing that we changed is going to catastrophically alter the rest of the timeline, or I'll have put that in just for a very specific reason, because I want to reference it later, or I want to start I want to start that as sort of a running joke or a gag, or to me, it's very important that piece stay in, because it's really crucial that you understand this little thing about the character, whatever it is. And he's going to ask me to change it. And because, I'm a somewhat decent-ish, I make attempts, okay? Human being. I'm going to try to change it to, fix, and then I'm going to have to rethink whatever that running gag joke facet of that character, whatever. I'm going to have to rethink it all and just come up with something totally different because for whatever reason, that little thing doesn't jive and doesn't mesh with the rest of the story. So we need to change it. All right, Zach, what is it? What have I done that is so terribly wrong?
So I think you let Jordan get away with what he was trying to do a little too easily.
Wait, hold on. Jordan did a couple of different things in this chapter. You need to be just a little bit more specific.
Well, I'm getting there.
The main character did something, and I don't think he should have done it that way. The whole chapter references him. What do you want me to do?
Oh my god.
Left. He should have gone right, damn it. I'm sorry.
When he now the part where he gets off of his ship and then acts like, you know, he's in charge or whatever, and acts like he's
completely
hot
bored with everything.
That part was good, and I did like the fact that you had the soldiers that were receiving his ship in the docking bay finally get their act together and start trying to take pot shots at him, even though he was already through the blast door. But when he gets to the bridge,
okay,
and there's already a Jedi Master there with the captain, and then he just assumes command.
Right.
You almost didn't explain what happened to the captain, first of all. And then, second, he's the captain of the fleet, or the ship or whatever, that is orbiting the planet. Now, you described him as just getting his powers. He's not going to be too enthusiastic about releasing those powers and authorities.
True.
But you made it seem like he was just like, oh, you're a Jedi Master? Oh, okay. Well, there's already a Jedi Master there. So I think if Jorn is going to take over the ship and do what he did, there needs to be some kind of a combat situation that goes down.
Okay, just because you skipped the whole combat thing and went straight from battle to, you know, just working at a cafe.
Hey, that ended horribly.
Romanticism of that.
That ended horribly.
If you're going to go from, you know, battle to working at a coffee shop, then I get to go from world-ending experiences and war to negotiation and not solving everything with a lightsaber, which is what Joran has been trying to teach SETI since day one. Well, okay, no. Since they got on the Cassenda.
Okay, then.
To leave Coruscant. And what he actually believes is the right way to go about doing things. He doesn't like killing everybody that gets in his way, or else he'd be a freaking Sith Lord already. So instead, we're not going to have a combat situation, which is how
I'm not saying Jordan starts
Mandalorians might solve anything. We're going to do this. Confrontation, yes. I see how I need to expand on that and make that a little bit better. You're right. You've got that exactly right. Nail, hammer, bam. Got it. But no combat. Let's not do the combat. I like combat. I'm not saying I don't. We're going to do combat. We're going to do a lot of
and plus
violence so much that your ears bleed. Just
the other thing is they're dealing with a civil war that has literally split the Jedi Order on planet. And here's some random Jedi that just shows up.
Yeah.
You know, that's not only is that going to make him suspicious, but
Hence the blasters and the, docking bay full of soldiers.
Right, but the captain himself, like some
Hence
guy
the
comes
docking
on.
bay full of soldiers.
Yeah, but some guy comes to his bridge and claims to be a Jedi Master, and he just walks the hell out. I mean,
Wasn't just him saying he's a Jedi Master. That's
I
not
know.
really the issue here. Him being
I
a
know,
Jedi
I'm
Master,
summarizing.
nobody could give a, flying wombats, whatever. All right. Here's the thing. He's not just a Jedi Master. In this instance, he's not a Jedi Master. He's a general. More than that, he's got, like, if for whatever reason that authority didn't take or they didn't accept those, that jurisdiction or that power, that rank, he literally showed that he's got about a dozen other ranks or titles of superior authority to call on. And at that point, you've just got to go, well, I really can't do anything when he's this and the other thing. And don't forget the honorary envoy of intent. And of course, there was that one where the other thing and the guy. And what is that? Some sort of a royal signet there? I don't understand. So it's not just he's a Jedi Master, just a general. He's all of these other things as well, which is sort of, well, okay. And yeah, I need to elaborate. You're right.
Okay. And then the part where they board the other ship, and it turns out to be Cara Dune. Was it Cara Dune? No, somebody else.
Which ship do they board?
The other Alliance ship that's orbiting the planet.
They don't board another ship.
No, not them. The rebels.
They, them, those other guys. The people, the ones with the noses. Specifics, man. Jorian did a thing. Remember that time they went on that ship and things happened? Wow, you're being really specific today. I mean, really. Good for you, man.
But yeah, the rebels when they boarded and took the ship.
Yes.
Why didn't they kill anybody?
Okay, so
Because I guarantee you the ship
it's
guys did not have their blasters set to stun.
yes, because Carr doesn't believe in. Look, there's a lot of things about Carr that you don't know because I haven't told you yet. I haven't told the audience either. Carr knows a couple of things. First is that killing Republic soldiers is a sure way to bring the full might of the Republic down on them. So killing them, not a good idea, especially in cases of where they are the instigators or they are the aggressors. Now, in self-defense, yes, there could be a legal case made to maybe not support that decision or rather back that up. He was shooting at me, therefore I shot back, so don't blow up my planet, because it's not like I had another choice, right? Whereas if I'm boarding your ship, I'm the aggressor in that case. Shooting you, that's murder, right? Even if it is in civil war. They don't want it to be civil war. They just don't want it to be the way it was. They don't want things to be the status quo anymore. They want to change things up a bit.
Right.
So, first off, legal precedent. Second off, they're more valuable alive. Again, he had hostages and bargaining chips then, right? He could use those lives in order to get what he wanted, in order to call off attacks, call a ceasefire, all of that. You can't really do that with a lot of corpses. I mean, you could try, I'm sure. I'm not sure how that would work, but, crazier things have happened. A third reason is he personally doesn't really believe in killing anymore. He's seen a lot of death and a lot of just bad things over the course of his life, and he doesn't feel that more death, more killing would make anything better. The final reason that he refuses, or you'll later see that he refused to allow killing under his command, it's because he feels guilty. I mean, you saw a little bit of that in this chapter where he's not really at peace with himself. He doesn't. There's a little bit of inner turmoil and inner struggle because he hasn't lived a life that he's very proud of. He would have preferred, not at the time, but now that he's older, looking back on what he's done and how he's lived, he would have preferred to live a different, more noble, more active life, one that helped more people and like that, instead of sitting on the sidelines all the time and not participating, not getting in the fight like Mala have been for so long. And so we're going to see a little bit more of that in the next chapter and get a little bit more in depth as far as why that is. And Seti is probably going to ask those same questions. Why didn't they just kill the guys? Why didn't they just, because they're enemies, right? And you kill enemies, and that's how you win. Right? So that's going to be an interesting little conversation probably in the next chapter.
Right. And
peace talks.
So was he just playing the role of defender while his troops were stun gunning all the other guys, or?
How do you mean?
Like, was he standing at the front of his guys blocking their actual lasers while they were shooting stun blasts into the other guys?
We're not really going to get into that. We don't need to know how they took the ship. We don't need to know the specifics, the details of it. We don't need a flashback that shows,
Well, I know, but I personally.
Master cars, No, we don't need that. They took the ship. However they did it, they took the ship. So we don't need to get into that.
No, but I want to know because I'm curious.
I don't care if you want to know. I never thought about it. It's really that simple. I don't care how they took the ship, so I never thought about how they would specifically do it. There's no reason to.
Okay. That was it as far as things I didn't understand or didn't agree with in your chapter.
That's a short list.
The rest was really good. I liked when they boarded the ship and he acted all like completely out of touch with things. He was like, "What do you mean I'm under arrest? Like, what's going on here?" And then I liked that he
found writing that. That was a lot of fun. Just like the yeah, whatever. All right, have fun with that.
I like that he found a familiar face amongst the soldiers. Yep. That was pretty cool, and lended more credence to his whole story there.
Lent, or the word is lent.
Lent. There we go.
Yep.
Lent. Lembus. With then the dialogue after the captain with the other ships and with Carr, that was pretty good. And so was the dialogue between him and the other Jedi Master after the captain. That was pretty good.
Two quick questions on my half. So what did you think of that bit that was from Yenset's viewpoint? What did you think of that?
Which one?
Well, there's only one bit that was written from
Well,
Yenset's.
because there was the Yenset thing that happened when he was on the bridge with them, and there was the Yenset thing that happened when he went down to the kitchen.
So, I mean, just that whole section.
All of Yenset's stuff. Okay.
And then the bit on the bridge. How did you think about that?
I liked how Yenset, like, we finally got to see how he thought, like how he legitimate. Because so far we've seen other characters thinking about how he thinks, but we've never actually seen Yenset's personal thoughts. So I think actually getting to see what he was thinking and then finally knowing for real that those were his real thoughts, and that he really was that pathetic. And,
he's a little idiot. We're working on that. Or we will be later on.
It's funny to me how he was kind of like sassing Jorn in his mind as he was like, "Oh yes, sir, I'll do this right away," or whatever. And then, God, his thoughts towards SETI almost remind me of like a prepubescent. Like, they're not serious enough for his age. So it really lends sort of a credence to the whole "I'm a delusional Jedi that's lived in the Jedi Temple my whole life" kind of thing, which would really come out if SETI wasn't also a weirdo.
She's weird, but I still love her. She's great.
So you kind of miss the chance to have her character notice that, hey, you're kind of a kid, aren't you? And like, but SETI's just
no idea.
Yeah, but SETI's just a kid. Like, so you kind of have these two characters that are like, you're weird. You're weird too. Okay, you know. And like,
she doesn't know what weird is. She doesn't know what normal is.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yenset couldn't care less if she's weird.
Well, Yenset's weird too. He's lived a sheltered life his whole life.
He doesn't think he's weird. He thinks he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he does.
He does, which is a problem. We need to fix that.
Oh my gosh. Now, wasn't there a bit in there where Yenset actually started to recognize the fact that Jorn was maybe I can learn something from this guy. Maybe I'm not being led on here.
He does start to recognize that, but now that he's recognized that Jorn actually has things to teach him, even if it's just, from Yenset's perspective, even if it's just, tips and tricks from an older Jedi, he's still, now the big issue is, well, I cannot let him know that I need to learn a tip or a trick from him, because I've already set this precedent of, no, I'm a knight, I don't need you, I'm fine, I don't, I'm perfectly good all on my own. All of this, don't worry about it. It's all good, fam. So,
Oh, good for you.
so with so he has to set that aside and muster up just a little bit of humility and say, look, I realize that maybe I could learn a thing or two from you.
Maybe.
Would you mind teaching me? Now, at the very end of the chapter, he recognizes, oh geez, at any time, this is a guy who, if I said those words, he would just dismiss it and we would move forward and everything would be fine. We would not have an issue. There would not be anything standing between.
Which is actually kind of a mature realization for him when you think about who he is.
Yes. He's an intelligent guy. He's got that depth of character. He doesn't know it yet. And everybody around him is like, I don't know if you have this or not, but clearly you're not showing.
Yeah.
So he has the potential to be so much more than what he is. And Joran sees that.
Yeah.
He's probably the only person that sees that, except for maybe Caer-Dun. But Caer-Dun, he's given up on it. It's like, kid,
well, I mean,
I've
and
tried
that's pretty
so long to help you. There's nothing more that I can do to try to get you out of this. So maybe
that's pretty typical Caer-Dun behavior. I mean, he already gave up on Joran, so
no, he never gave up on Joran.
Beforehand,
He gave up on what he was trying to do. Is he was trying to change the ideology and the thinking and the mentality of the Jedi, right? Their beliefs. Whereas Joran was trying to do something. There was the mental and the physical. Caer-Dun was trying to work on the mental. Joran has never given up on working on the physical because there's so many problems in the galaxy. Somebody needs to solve at least some of them. Somebody needs to take a little bit of weight off of what's going on. Whereas Caer-Dun, he was trying to solve the internal conflict, or rather non-conflict, the apathy of the Jedi. He was trying to combat the corruption and the just I don't care facet of what they've become.
Right.
So Joran saw that as he has become. In order to do that, he needed to make the rest of the Jedi think that he was, one of the cool kids, part of the gang, so that he would be given responsibilities and duties and would not be bothered when he started with his own agenda. So that's what led to Joran and Caer-Dun splitting up, because Joran was convinced that he was sort of fooled right along with everybody else.
Right.
He's become just another one of the people who doesn't care and accepts corrupt money and accepts favors and plays sides, all of that. He's done, or he's assumed that role, so clearly he can't be trusted. Clearly he's not the person that I always thought he was. So forget it. I'm gonna just go do my own thing and let him do his. And with how busy both of them became with their own respective tasks, Caer-Dun never really had the opportunity to reach out and explain what was going on. Also, if he had explained what was going on, then there was a good possibility, at least in his mind, that Joran would give up the game and
go directly for the problem.
Right back to square one.
Go for the throat.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like Joran. something. I know there's something else I was missing. Oh yeah, the rank that he receives in the middle, out of the middle of nowhere, aboard a ship that nobody knows he's on. So, like, what?
Here's the thing with that. What is his name? Tal, Grandmaster Tal.
Yeah.
He knew Jorn was on the ship. He reached out to Coruscant to say, "Look, this guy is coming in and he's screwing with everything.
This guy.
This is wrong. No, you got to get your story straight. He's just a master all of a sudden. No, you know. Oh, yes, on all of this.
This character
all
needs
of it.
Like that.
It's so ridiculous. You know, get
every
this
time,
guy."
Every time that character comes on the scene, you have to make his voice sound like that.
Jeez. You can imagine that voice. You do that all you want. I always imagined him as more of one of those very intense people. Like, they get right up close to you and they're like, "You screwed up. I don't like it. We're gonna fix you." You know, one of those people. So that's how I imagine him. I mean, but we can have different opinions on that. I think you always read Resk's voice in either like Eastern European or a Jamaican accent.
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah. So I don't think that's how I listen to him.
Russian/Jamaican.
Right? I don't even know how that would go. That sounds really weird.
It sounds so perfect, though. Like, the way you write his character, once you read it in that accent, it's like, oh my god, that's Resk.
Thank you, I think. Yeah, thanks. So, well, hopefully more readers, see it that way. I just like I like throwing in that, that accent that's, a different speech pattern, especially because I cannot ever break that. So
right.
I can't have him say something ordinary. And I've got to, did I throw in too many yes or, not enough questions? Or did he say no too many? Like, one of the things Resk does is every now and then say a statement and then ask a question. Like,
right.
You are a Jedi. Yes. And then,
yes.
So have I done that too often or have I not done that enough?
No, that's perfect.
Haven't seen him ask no in a long time. Let's throw one of those in there. And so it's just sort of fun playing with that. But more importantly, I can't let him not do that. Otherwise, like, the readership would tear me apart because where's the no?
Right?
Why am I asking this as a question? What is, you're doing it wrong. You're screwing up my favorite character.
You're doing it wrong, even though it's your character.
No! As soon as it gets out into the world, it's everybody else's character, and I'm just along for the ride. Which is going to be terrifying when book 2 comes out. Good grief, the pressure's going to be on. Or when we start working on book 2, it's like everybody loves Resk, everybody hates Seti for whatever reason. I don't know. And I'm just going to be like, but I like Seti.
I like
but I know I want more Seti. Yes. Not so much Resk. No. They're just...
Or you start reading the weird fan fictions shipping 2 different characters together.
No, you control those, like, after the books come out, all right? You control those sites all you want. All you want. But I will not, and you will never, ever tell me what's on those sites. You're not going to. Because if you do, I'm going to find you. Wherever you are, I will find you. And I will do things to you that will be comfortable on many different levels.
All right.
Pain, it really depends on how much you done goofed and how much the fanfic people done goofed. We will see.
That's all I had for your chapter.
Okay. So let's talk
now,
about your next chapter.
Did we discuss last meeting my other book?
We did. We touched on it. I haven't seen a new anything from it, either revisions or chapters. I would be interested in either.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about it last week.
Yep, we did talk about it and sorted some stuff out, and yeah.
All right. So my next chapter, for let's do the other book first. For that book, is going to be, they've already gotten out of school, they've already been to town, and they're just about to go to their respective jobs
Right.
for the summer. However, I do want to stick in, I'm not sure how I want to do it, because the sentience part of the key mage thing is gone, because he already got it stabbed into him and like got possessed basically.
Yeah, which is just always the best part of my day.
So the sentience part of that is gone. So I'm trying to figure out different ways I can bring out his key mage abilities without him knowing or activating them himself, or having outside help from the spirit's respective key, because the key is gone at this point. The spirit of the key is gone, but he still has the key in the key ring. So I don't know.
Okay. Some advice that I would give you right now, especially at this point in the story, because this is going to be so important. Have you ever heard of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan?
Yes.
Have you ever read that series?
No.
Okay, you should definitely do that. Definitely do that, because fantastic book series, absolutely amazing.
How many books are in the series?
Say again?
How many books are in the series?
Okay, this is going to sound scary, and it's all right to be a little nervous, stepping in. This is the big boys club, you understand. There's 14 books in the series.
Oh my God.
All of them are over 800 pages.
Wait, what? What did you say?
I'm pretty sure all of them are over 800 pages. Now,
holy crap.
now that might be I know, all right? We're talking
Each
about the
one?
deep end here. We are, but just listen.
Each one is over 800.
Pretty sure, yeah. Now, I haven't really gone in and counted all the pages for each one recently. I'm sorry.
But
My
they're
bad.
good, right? You couldn't put it down when you were reading.
What?
They were good. You couldn't put it down when you were reading.
Jeez. Oh, my goodness. They're phenomenal. All right. This guy describes characters, like facial expressions. He describes, like, you see the characters. He describes terrain and environments and buildings, structures. His descriptions of cities are absolutely amazing. And he really does paint a picture. You see everything that happens, and it flows beautifully. All right. Now that's the author's, his style. There's also comedy in there. You're going to be laughing. You're going to be maybe not crying. I mean,
I'm sure there's some sad parts.
oh, there's some sad parts. I just don't cry. I know. I'm sorry.
I just don't cry because I don't have a
terrible
soul.
person. But yeah, there's emotional bits. There's parts that make you angry. That he really makes you feel things and see things. It's just beautifully written. Story-wise, fantasy world setting. There is magic in the world, and he has just such incredible rules about the structure of magic and how it works.
Yeah.
And so the rules for how things work and why they are the way they are, the history of the world that he makes. It's just all around phenomenal. But the part that is important for our purposes today, talking about the key mage and all of that. At one point, one of his characters develops the ability to use magic.
Mm.
And I'm not going to, I really don't want to say anything because you have to read this series and I don't want to give out any spoilers. But one of the characters develops the ability to use magic. And they notice certain signs, or rather, they don't notice certain signs. Things happen. So things happen earlier in the book, much earlier in the book, first quarter of the book. Things start happening, and we're not really sure why. And the character feels certain ways, or like they experience certain emotions, and those don't really make any sense. It's like, why is this person doing this? Why is he doing that? That doesn't make any sense. And then at like the very end of the book is when all of that is explained, and you have to think back to that incident that they had with the guards in the place, and the guy in the side, and the nose, and the what? And it's all just like sort of drawn together, and it's like, whoa. We could have seen the signs, or we saw the signs, we didn't recognize them for what they were because we didn't know what they were indicating. We didn't even know that there were signs like that to look for.
Right.
So it's very interesting the way that happens. And so I would say right now, if you want to draw out some of those indicators for the powers that he's tapping into, or again, without his knowledge, throw in a few signs, throw in a few unexplained phenomenon or events, or things that just don't make sense. Now, you need a reason for that. Okay. I think I told you this before. My dad gave me some wonderful writing advice, and that is, if you make a disease or something along those lines, make a disease, right? You need to know the symptoms, you need to know how the disease works, and you need to know like how it moves from one body to the next, how it's passed, the stages, what it does internally, all of that. All you need to do in the book is explain that people are coughing, and then more people are coughing. It's this epidemic, and we don't understand it. And you don't have to explain how it works. You just need to know how it works, so that you never break that chain of events. All right, you can't have a disease where people are coughing, and that's the big thing. It works in the lungs, right? And then later on in the books, people are getting like rashes all up and down their arm from this same disease. But no one was getting rashes earlier, and this isn't just a new phase of the disease, it's the same thing. You're just showing different symptoms. But why are you doing that? Because it's the same disease, right? It's like you're saying there's a cold, and now it's something else entirely. And so you need to know how that disease works. The audience doesn't need to know. You never need to explain it, but you need to know how it works. So these signs that you're going to create for this key mage, if you choose to go that route, you need to know what they are and why they're occurring. We don't need to know. You don't need to tell us anything about why this is going on or what's going on. You just need to know what it is and how it works, so that you are consistent with your complete and utter confusion.
Mm-hmm.
All the chaos that's going to go. All the chaos.
Okay.
So, again, make some symptoms of early key mage ness.
I like how you equate my the magic in my book with a disease. Are you a Templar, Evan?
I'm explaining how my dad said, if you make a disease, explain it. So, sorry, that's the, my apologies for insinuating that, Brennan is ill and contracting something or other and might need a cure.
Might need a cure.
Because he's ill.
Ew.
I'm just saying a doctor would not be the worst person to call in this instance. The key disappeared into his arm. There was a lot of blood. It's hallucinations, hearing voices. I'm just telling you what I know. All right,
that is true. But also, this chapter, I want to give a bit more depth to Brennan and Melanie and their relationship. And then the end of the chapter, I want them to see their arch nemesis at the mining camp.
All right. That seems like a good direction to take it. I look forward to reading that and seeing how that goes.
And then over to my Star Wars character.
Never pictured him with a country accent.
No, he doesn't have a country accent. But Eric, he last left him off before last chapter was he had just chased the Achani guys who were trying to escape to their little shuttle, and the shuttle got blown out of the sky. But we left him at a sort of old world cultural site, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is the chapter where we're going to start getting into all the nasty creepies and crawlies that are in this certain place.
Finally.
The battle will be, at this point, finishing overhead, and Tarek's not really going to care at the moment because he's going to send something far of greater importance to him.
He's got other things on his mind, like the ghosts that are like drifting by his head.
Yes.
Got it.
As he's getting up from the debris that's falling all around him, he starts to pick up on the screams and the horrifying noises that seem to be emanating from this little crack in the wall, basically, on the other side of the room there. And so he goes to investigate, only to find the crack in the wall is actually a secret door. This leads him to an underground network of tunnels that the Onderon people had constructed and committed suicide in. And in those tunnels, he has to face horrors and monstrosities and all kinds of nastiness that are in there. I mean, the dark side of the Force is so potent in these tunnels that literally, I'm assuming you've heard of Sith beasts and whatnot, Sith Sith monstrosities.
Yep.
That it has literally become a breeding ground for those kind of things in those tunnels. And they've been feeding off of the dark energies ever since. And so he's going to have to fight his way through those. And he's trying to figure out, because all the screams and whatnot are seeming to be coming from this one little area. And so that's when he goes and then he falls into this hole that's in the bottom of a tunnel, into a cave. And in the cave are all these sort of crystalline structures growing, and some of them have literally grown over skeletons and dead bodies and whatnot. And at the center of the cave, hanging down from the ceiling, is a black crystal. And it has absorbed all of this dark side energy and all of these horrifying nightmares into the crystal. And so, what did we name his side personality? It wasn't Tarek. Tarek was the main character.
The voice in his head that turns out to be him the whole time?
Yeah.
Rylan,
yeah.
Why do I remember that? Why am I remembering your characters better than you?
Dude, it's been so long.
I know it's been so long, but I mean, I haven't looked at your chapters in even longer because I'm writing my own.
I know.
Heck. All right.
I've been really busy down here, mad and distracted.
I mean, going to be just ecstatic to be wandering around these caves because, I mean, this is like nirvana for him.
Yeah.
So much power.
Rylan, that crystal.
I can feel it everywhere. I could kill everybody with this. Just everybody. It feels so cozy. I just want to take a nap. I want to just wrap it around myself like a blanket and just snuggle in the energy and the hate.
Actually, to Rylan though, the dark side energies that are floating around, they're scary even to him.
Ooh, damn.
And so he takes that crystal, but very apprehensively. And he gets out of the tunnel system at the end of the chapter, and he meets up with his squad. And his bodyguard there has discovered something somewhat sinister about exactly why the Achani were there.
Ooh.
And it's not good. And
of course it's not good. If it was good, it wouldn't be sinister.
That's true.
If it was good, it wouldn't make for a good story. Dang.
True. So she's not able to quite figure out the scope of what's going on by what is in the computer, but there's just enough there to take a good solid guess at what the Achani are doing. And then I want to have the chapter end with them sort of the fleet destroying what's remaining of the rebels, and then the huge, basically Red Dead Redemption moment where the last of the rebels make it out of the canyon only to be shot up by the entire Ordo army that's waiting for them. So, and that's how the chapter will end.
All right, I like it. Well, yeah, good. this is going to be one of those chapters that, I mean, I probably won't want to read it just before I go to bed, and I probably won't want to read it, at night or when the sun is about to go down. This is one of those things I'm going to have to like do at the beginning of my day when the sun is definitely up in the sky and just not coming down. No rain outside. It's got to be sunshine. There's got to be happy things going around.
Sunshine and happiness.
It's not because I need to be in that kind of environment to, really appreciate all of what's going on. No, I need to be in that kind of environment because as soon as that sort of imagery and stuff is in my head, it's not going to want to leave. And I'm going to need happy things and like a pleasant environment to sort of escape to get away from that. Where I'm just going to be like, wow, serious stuff went down. Don't want to go back in those caves.
Time to go to bed.
Nope, not sleeping for another generation. Nope, not happening. So, because, I mean, I learned this really early on in life while reading Robert Jordan books, actually. Wheel of Time. In the first book, at one point, the characters come across like this dead city. And as soon as they get there, I just had this feeling like, this is bad. And I was in like 5th or 6th grade or something like that. So, I mean, I would stay up hours past when I should have gone to bed. And just long nights where, me and a flashlight, reading, which is probably why my eyes are so shot. But because, I mean, I almost never got replacement batteries, so I would read until those batteries were like dead. And with the old incandescent bulbs, they just dimmed over time. So I would be book eye right next to it with this really dim flashlight. Like, I can make out the word. I promise you I can make out the word. And his books just, they're addictive. Yeah, I stayed up late reading that one night. And just like the 3 or 4 chapters that take place in that dead city. Good grief, the worst nightmares I've ever had in my life happened those nights. Yup. So I'm going to read this next chapter of yours not at nighttime, not when I'm about to, interact with people. Definitely not, I'm about to try to go to bed. Yep. That's going to be, all right. I think we've got a game plan going here.
So, other than writing stuff, what's been going on, man?
Oh. Now we come to the portion of the conversation that involves our personal lives.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you can see me right now, but
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, you see this?
Ugh.
Yeah. It tastes about as good as it looks. Maybe a little bit better. There is pineapple in it.
Why are you drinking it, though, if it's gross?
That's why I have a second glass.
Yeah, but why are you drinking the first glass?
Something about health or not dying, cancer prevention. I don't know. Honestly, it's because one of the things I really like is I'll go to the store and buy big containers of have you heard of Naked Juice?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll buy like a big thing of that and bring it home, and like that'll be my like food for the day. Or I'll throw it into something like one of my smoothies to make it taste a little bit better, or add a little bit of liquidity to it. So what I thought I was picking out was Green Machine, which is one of my favorites because it tastes a lot like apple.
Yeah.
I got home and was unpacking my grocery bags, and it turned out I got kale blazer, which is mostly kale, and it doesn't taste good. So I put that along with bananas, green apples, and pineapples into a smoothie so that it would, distract from the taste. And that's actually been working really well. It doesn't taste terribly bad at all. Not something that I'd like to drink if I had the option, but I bought it, so I'm not going to let food go to waste.
Right. I'm like that too.
Whatever this stuff is.
That's be gross. I'll just be like, I spent money on you. I need to eat you.
It's not that I spent money on it. It's that, if I just throw it out, that's kind of a dick move. Because there are people who would literally slaughter villages if they could get their hands on something like that. Just because it's something they can drink and it's life-giving, life-sustaining, rather.
But yeah, anyway.
Let's see. Work. Work has been really... So, as our viewership may or may not have picked up on, I am in the military, United States Coast Guard. And every couple of years, what we do is we need to go through certain tests. I should explain a little bit more. I'm assigned to a cutter, big boat, which, and every now and then, every couple of years, we have to go through testing to make sure that our boat is, and our crew is ready to stand up to emergency situations. Because when you're out in the middle of the water, who do you call? The Coast Guard. Who does the Coast Guard call? Ourselves. Because there's nobody that can help us when we're out in the middle of the ocean and suddenly there's a fire on board. We've got to save ourselves. So just went through a 3-week long testing and evaluation series, just a big batch of be ready for anything. And so that was a lot of drills and a lot of inspections and evaluations. And boy, howdy, was that fun. So when you stand over a chart table and just for a week straight, when you stand over a chart table for a week straight and you've got pencil and a couple of other tools, which I'm not going to get into because they had to send me to weeks of training and all of this just to explain what these things are and how they work and all of that. So I'm not going to get into that. But when you say on this water map, here we are, here's where we're going, this is how fast we're going, this is where we're going to be in the next couple of minutes. When you do that for a week straight and you have to tell everybody on the bridge, this is where we are, this is where we're going, these are the things around us, every 3 minutes, all right? I like my job. I do like what I do for a living. It's not bad. I work with a lot of great people, and there are a lot of worse things I could be doing with my time.
True.
But Oh, good grief. There were days I didn't want to get out of. There's a lot of days that I want to get out of bed. The last couple of weeks, I never wanted to get out of bed. So, anyway, now we're done with that. That's over with. Now we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, and
You
it's a lot.
still going on? You still
Say
going
again?
on? You still going on your jogs, buddy?
Oh, this. Okay. I think this is the episode. I think this is the episode we're finally going to talk about this. So, um, there's a joke that started 3 years ago. Um, when you leave a room or you leave a group, every now and then, if you want to be a decent person, you'll turn back. Hey, I'm headed out. Does anybody need anything? You know, I'm just stepping out for a little bit. I'll be back. Does anybody need anything? A buddy of mine, great friend, he turned back. Hey, does anybody need anything? And I made the joke. I mean, a redhead, because I'm still single. Yeah, I know. Hard to believe. With my winning personality and just supermodel good looks. Sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. Anyways, so he sort of left, and then he immediately came back. Like, wait, seriously? Is that what you're asking for? It's like, I mean, if you see one, sure. So from then on, the running joke was that I need a girlfriend, and she has to have red hair. And we developed this huge. I mean, it's something we talk about, me and this other guy. Uh, a lot of the time when we get together, and uh, just a joke that we've been passing back and forth for a couple of years now. And yeah, so at my unit right now, on my cutter, there is a woman with red hair, and we're actually pretty good friends. And every now and then we'll go jogging together, because who doesn't like a good jog, right? So and with my group of friends, there's a lot of jokes that get passed around. So yeah, Zach is referencing my going jogging with a red-haired woman and my lack of a social and romantic life or existence. And so, as I've explained to him and many people in my life at this point, here's the thing about this red-haired woman that I'll go jogging with. We're both in the Coast Guard, and we work on the same boat, which means it would be illegal and just a bad idea in general, but illegal for us to try to date. So, yes, I've gone on a couple more jogs with this person since the last time we spoke. But no, we're still not dating because I like my job and I don't want to get fired. Well, okay, I wouldn't get fired. I would probably be reduced in rank, lose some pay, work extra hours. She, on the other hand, because different rules. That's another thing. She's an officer and I'm enlisted. If you don't understand what that means, that's fine. It just means you're a civilian. But the thing is, because she's an officer and I'm enlisted, there's different rules.
He's royalty and you're a peasant.
Yeah, that about sums it up right there. So the penalties for her dating a peasant would be a lot more severe than me dating royalty. I get high fives from all the guys because, oh my goodness, somebody was stupid enough to date me. So, whereas it would be like, You did what? With a what? They're like, and like they work and they get all
They work.
What? No, officers do plenty of work. I'm not saying that. We can get
Well,
into
you
the
were
whole
totally
officer
just
enlisted
saying,
sort
man.
of internal struggle later. But penalties, if she was to date me, would be she would probably let's dream something. She would never be promoted, which means she would be kicked out after a certain amount of time, because as an officer, if you don't advance after, if you stay stagnant for long enough, they just, okay, goodbye now, because they want to see upward movement, right? So she would also probably lose some pay, maybe reduction in rank. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it all that much because it's not going to happen. So who cares? Anyways, point is, so nothing new on the social front, nothing new on the romantic. I don't even, there is no front on the romantic side. It doesn't exist. It's this fairy tale land for me. I don't know. And got back into swimming recently, just a couple weeks ago. And oh, good grief, I love swimming.
Oh, you're certainly in the right job.
No, actually. That's the funny thing about the Coast Guard. We hardly ever go swimming. We go out to the people who went swimming, bunch of jackasses. No. There's this thing called a swim call, where if you're on a boat out in the middle of the ocean, captain says, everybody just throw on your Speedo and jump in. That only ever happens in warm, like really warm waters, when we don't have anything that we're doing right then. When are we ever in warm waters in good enough weather that, swimming is safe-ish idea? And when are we not doing anything, right? Oh, it's beautiful, because there's so many people out there that just, they feel like doing a stupid thing is a good idea, and it's really not.
It's really not.
It's really not. One of the primary aspects of my job right now is going out and finding drug smugglers.
Yeah.
Love those guys. Love them so much. You know what I've got? Job security. That's a fact. So anyways, yeah, we're always doing something.
All right.
We don't do swim call very often, but when we do, it's like, it's so amazing. We get to post a shark watch. Do you know what a shark watch is? Most of the time it's me. I stand up on a really high place on the boat with a rifle, and I look at the water, and I look at all the people swimming around that aren't me, because somebody's got to do the job, not have fun. So I get to stand up there with a rifle and just look around for sharks to see if there's a shark or other dangerous sea animal that is going to endanger my shipmates.
Yeah.
So if there is such a beast, it's my responsibility to let everybody know and get them out of the water. But also, on the order of an officer or senior enlisted personnel, I am to shoot that animal if it endangers my crew.
Nice.
That never happens. You know how many sharks are in the water?
A lot.
Not very many. You know how many come that anywhere miles within, a Coast Guard boat? None. Well, okay, we've had a couple instances, but very few. All right.
When was the last time your ship went out to Hawaii?
Hawaii?
Yeah.
My ship, I don't think has ever been to Hawaii, but
I
On a different ship, I've been to Hawaii twice.
Yeah, because in Hawaii, when your ship is docked out of port, there are sharks everywhere.
I know. That's why we don't go swimming when we see sharks. This is another reason why we don't go swimming very often. If somebody sees a shark earlier in the day, and yeah, we saw one. It was a pretty big guy. All right, well, not going swimming then. Thanks a lot, dude. I mean, you had to be swimming right in that little patch of ocean, didn't you? And you
Right.
had to make it you had to broadcast your presence. You couldn't be down 20 feet where no one can see you.
Actually, I would prefer that you saw the shark.
They don't attack us.
Uh-huh. I've seen Jaws. I know what happens. But no.
You've got bigger
I feel like
boats
it's going
than
pretty
the
good.
guys in the job.
So my life,
Yes, let's hear about yours.
it was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I was in the hospital recently,
I remember this.
in some kind of anxiety attack. That was fun.
Anxiety over what specifically, or was there a reason?
I think what it was just like a buildup of things that kept on piling on, and then finally I just friggin' snapped.
Right.
Yeah, so that got taken care of.
That's good.
And I still haven't gotten the bill from the hospital yet. I'm hoping my insurance pays most of that. And then I'll probably be back home. I'm not going to be too hopeful about it, but I'm probably going to be back home next weekend. So that'll be cool. And then as soon as I get back, I'm going to have to do forklift training, and then I'm going to use a lot of my TDY money that I got for being down here to buy equipment to start up my small business idea when I get back home. And then I'm hoping that I can get that to a strong enough level, making enough money with that I could actually get out of the shipping market, so that I work for me, nobody else. Because honestly, I don't want to work for somebody that could be like, yeah, you don't have a life. Go over here for like 3 months. Sorry, don't care. Yeah, that's not really my thing. I don't think so. So I'm gonna make plans and make effort to try and get my own business and income going. Be my own man and all that. Then I recently got a really, really good gaming computer. And as soon as I get back with that, I'm going to go pick it up and get all the awesome strategy games that I could never play on my crappy computer beforehand. And then probably take like the next week off. And then, and then probably when I get back, probably on the weekend of May 4th, weekend following, I'll be having a Zach's back party and lots of pizza and alcohol and other such things.
That sounds awesome, man.
Yeah. And then I've been writing a lot for these different RP groups on Facebook.
Sweet.
We've been role playing back and forth. It's been fun, but like there are also people that I have to deal with that I'm like, ugh, why are you here? Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's got its own rewards, you know. But, that's why I've been so like distracted and like off topic on my own work, because like I've been into so much other stuff that I just completely started to forget details about my own stuff, and so
His name is Rylan.
huh?
The name is Rylan.
Yeah,
That's the name of your character,
I'm
or the
pretty
other
sure.
half of your character.
Half of it. But yeah, that's what's going on with my life. The whole girlfriend thing is, I don't know if it's over, but it's weird. Like, she doesn't want to commit to it, and I kind of do, but she's not all the way there for that, and I understand why. You know, she's got a kid, and she's trying to get her house and trying to get a bunch of stuff together. So she's really a busy woman at this point. So, you know, whatever happens, happens. I don't know if we'll just remain friends after this, or if we'll actually get together or whatever. But we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the best in that.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Women.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh,
yeah, I've had this one rattling around in my head for a year. Yeah, just about a year, and she will not get out. And it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. So.
Hey, but you're pursuing it. You're pursuing it.
Yeah.
Assuming she's faster than you, you're pursuing it.
Oh, hey, for whatever reason, that reminds me. Last week, last Sunday, I went on a half marathon.
Yeah.
That was a smart decision. That was very intelligent.
Yeah, you were hurting afterwards.
Oh, I was hurting during. I was actually hurting before, during, and after. So this thing has been going on. I'm not really sure where it's coming from, or why this is happening, because it's never happened before. But this is going to sound a little weird. Just bear with me. My hips, like literally the socket where my leg joins my hip, it feels wrong. There's pain. It actually feels like bone grinding on bone a lot of the time, especially if I've been on my feet all day, which when am I not on my feet all day? Well, aside from these conversations. But, yeah. So that had been a problem for about a week before I went on this marathon, which 13.1 miles. So what happened is that morning I woke up and did a little rowing to wake up and get the blood moving and all of that.
Yeah.
Then I got wrong directions to the start point. So it was like right there. It was like a mile and a half away. So I figured I'll just walk it. I'll walk there and that'll be a nice little run with my feet. Like so I walked there to where it's supposed to be. And there were a good number of people also walking around that area like, where is it? What's going on? I don't understand. It was supposed to be right here. And, they were asking me of all people, where is this? I don't know. So I ended up walking around, just wandering, and finally found it. And then, uh, ran 13.1 miles. And then afterwards, I was really, really out of it. Like, just legitimately wandering around in a daze, like I didn't know where I was or what I was doing, because I kind of didn't. And I'd run it with two other shipmates who had also, I'd seen them previously in the run, and uh, I had passed them. I was ahead of both of them, and I never saw them pass me, which they did. Explain that a little bit. I never saw them pass me. So they'd already finished, but me being, who I am, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back, find them, and then help them, motivate them, or encourage them to get across the finish line, right? So I ended up walking an additional 2 miles backwards from the finish line to try to find them. Realized that everybody had finished the race. They had clearly passed me at some point. And then my dumb ass walked 2 miles back to the start line and then back to my boat where I could get a shower and just sit down. So, all in all, I tallied it all up, and I traveled about. I think final count was 23 miles that day.
Oh my
All
God.
on foot, and about 12 of that was running. I did not feel good that day.
No, you did not.
No, that was not a comfortable feeling. Especially since like my knees had started acting up at that point. My hips felt like I had or was causing serious damage, to the point where I couldn't like extend my stride at all. So I was just taking tiny little baby steps, trying to jog my way back. Must have been funny to see, but yeah. So all in all, looking back on it, it was a good time, and I'm glad that I did it, especially since, according to friends of mine, not a lot of people do half marathons.
Well, I mean,
That
not a lot of people run in general.
I suppose that's true. So yeah, glad I did it. I would probably do it again, maybe after my hip replacement. um,
Have you been to the doctor?
no,
No.
I dropped by our doc on the boat. Hey doc, so my hips have been bothering me for the last couple days. Would you mind just taking a look at it? And she said, yeah, sure, just drop by my office, a little bit later. Dropped by, and again, this was in the middle of that long evaluation and testing period.
Yeah.
So, she got busy that day. And then the day, all right, see me tomorrow. The next day, I found some free time, went over to her office. Hey, doc, could we, figure out this whole hip thing in a second? Because I'm 23. I shouldn't be dealing with, hip problems.
Right.
So, yeah, sure. Just step into the office and we'll see what we can figure out. Literally, she puts her hand on the doorknob, and an alarm goes off for our next drill. We simulated fire or something like that, and had to fight the fire. Anyways, so I was like, well, can't do it today. Got to go stop this fire. And so just after that, it was a series of strange coincidences where busy this day, can't see you this day, this, that, and the other thing. So for the last couple of days now, I've just been like, I'm screwed. It's fine. I'll probably go to somebody on base and say, hey, could we figure out what the hell's going on? But maybe I'll do that sometime next weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say, it sounds like your cartilage has worn out.
Gee, how could that have happened? It's not like I do any physical activities. So, anyways, yeah, that's been fun dealing with that, especially since, earlier today, I went for a 10-mile jog.
Why? Stop it.
Because fitness. And, there's a future Mrs. Tarbell out there somewhere. I have no idea where she is, but, she's out there somewhere. And she deserves better than who I am right now. And she certainly deserves somebody who's in better shape than that. So, unless, my hips just decide to give out and my legs spontaneously detach, then I'm just going to keep on doing what I do and dealing with it.
I don't know. I would find out what was wrong first before I went on any more leg exercise type deals.
Yeah, I should probably do that. That sounds like a Wednesday. No, that sounds like a Monday thing. Yeah, that sounds like a Monday thing. Yeah. All right. We'll see what's up Monday. And heck, maybe I'll even give you an update on what's going on.
All right. Well, this has been the Writer's Archive for this upcoming chapter and Evan's last chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably finish writing both chapters in the next 2 weeks. So sometime in May, early May, we'll have our next writers meeting, as long as Evan's schedule permits.
Probably not early May.
Probably not early May?
Probably not early May.
Okay. Well, we'll have it at some point here.
Yep.
But that's been our writers meeting, and we will see you all later.